I want to talk for a second about MRI technology because I think, just to try to describe it for people, I'm going to try to string together a couple of ideas and then we kind of dive into this. But one of the things I thought was so fascinating is, I want to talk about why MRI was the right tool. And you talked about specificity and one other piece of this. Yeah, sensitivity. That's right.
Specificity, yeah.
But the other thing I think is really interesting is, one, this is an existing technology and you guys aren't making hardware. So you're effectively saying we're going to take advantage of the technology, but we're not going to focus on manufacturing the hardware. We're not going to become experts at making MRI machines. We're going to become experts at basically layering this technology with really interesting software where we can effectively supercharge the technology. It's a very interesting, very provocative idea. How did you land on that? And I guess talk about why that model makes sense.
Yeah, so I landed on MRI, first and foremost, because it is the only high-resolution medical imaging modality that does not expose you to ionizing radiation.
So you can do it often.
So you can do it every year you can do it every day for the rest of your life, and you will be fine. Unlike a low-dose CT or an X-ray or mammo, where you expose yourself to degrees of radiation. Not to say that they're not good modalities, because if you're at high risk for breast cancer, you should get your mammogram despite the marginal exposure to radiation that you'll undergo. So the main reason I chose MRI was because it is, completely safe to do for individuals. The second reason is it has this very high sensitivity and specificity. For those who are listening who don't know sensitivity and specificity, sensitivity is how sensitive is the test. Like if I have cancer and I get tested, how likely am I to find it? How sensitive is it? Specificity is if I find something, how likely is it to be the disease that I'm looking for? In our case, cancer. And so when you're looking at a screening test, you're looking at sensitivity and specificity, and there's always a trade-off between the two, because the higher the sensitivity, the lower the specificity, and vice versa. Think of it as a car alarm. The more sensitive your alarm, the more it'll go off. That means they will also go off when there's noise on the street, not someone trying to steal your car. And so MRI has incredible sensitivity. We're talking 96, 97% sensitivity if you look at kind of third-party data. It has an average specificity, let's say about 80%, which means it has an inherent 20% false positive rate. And our stance is that while incidental findings can be an issue with screening, if you manage them well, actually the only reason why some people survive pancreatic cancer is because they found it incidentally. And so what we're trying to do at Ezra is find all of these incidentals and determine which ones are actionable and which ones aren't. And we've built a whole suite of tools to do that. Coming back to your original question, we have layered a lot of software to make what we do more accessible. Before Ezra, you could get a full body MRI, but it would take 2 to 3 hours. It would cost $10,000. With Ezra, it takes 60 minutes. It costs $2,000. And we are working on making it even more affordable in the very near future.